Are you guys happy with what we've been doing? Do you want to continue with the same sort of style? Or you want to do something slightly different? You can unmute yourself and say, or give me a thumbs up if you're fine with what we've been doing. Okay, thumbs up is good? Okay, right. So let's come to standing, and you want to have your feet about hip width distance apart, so you can bring your big toes together and your heels out, and then adjust your feet so that they're straight, and that should give you hip width distance apart. So relaxing your arms by your side and becoming aware of your feet, grounding them, really connecting them to your mat, to the ground, to the earth. Feel as if there's roots growing down from your soles of your feet into the earth, giving you that sense of stability, steadiness in the body. See if now you can even out the weight on both sides, so the right and left side should be evenly distributed. We tend to go to our dominant side of the body when we stand. So notice whether you're doing that and see if you can adjust yourselves. Try to engage your pelvic floor muscles. And lift the shoulders, rolling them back, opening up the chest. Relaxing the arms by your side. Chin parallel to the floor, or you can slightly tuck your chin towards your chest so you can have that straight cervical spine as well. Draw the belly in. Maybe close your eyes if it feels okay for you to do. And breathe deeply, so connecting with your breath. Inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly. You're trying to make that exhalation longer than the inhalation. Breathing as deeply as you can. Conscious awareness to the breath, the body, the mind. Being fully present in the here and now. Noticing sensations in the body, thoughts flowing in the mind. Noticing the breath. Is the breath a bit rigidy? Is it smooth? How does it feel? Throughout the practice, see whether you can remain mindful of your breath, your body, your mind. If you find that you become distracted, try to come back. So sometimes we tend to have to drift off in the past or drift off in the future, maybe thinking about what you're going to make for dinner, or something we get distracted with. So see if you can try, every time you find you doing that, bring yourself back to your breath, to your anchor. So maybe set some intention for your practice. What do you hope to achieve from your practice today? Is there a feeling that you'd like to take from your practice into the rest of your day? And if you had to sum that up into one word, what would that be for you today, right now? Or maybe it's something that you'd like to release from your day so far, or your week so far. What is that? And can you give it permission to release and let go? So you can gently open your eyes, and let's stretch the arms above the head, reaching up to the sky. Stretch nice and long. And maybe interlacing the fingers if that feels good. We're going to reach the arms to the right side, the hips go to the left. So you can press the hips generously here over to the left side as you reach the arms to the right. So keep the head in between the arms, your core is nice and tight, feet are strong. Gently come back to center, stretch up again, reaching up to the sky. And then we reach over to the left side, press the hips to the right. So you can exaggerate the movement of the hips here, keeping the belly drawn in as much as you can. And gently come up, reach up again. We're going to press the hips gently forward, as if you're arching back, so a gentle back bend. And then slowly come back to center, stretch up, soften the knees, reach forward, keep the belly drawn in. You can release your arms, maybe bring it to the shins or wherever it's comfortable. Relax the head, the neck, the shoulders, the arms. Maybe holding onto the elbows in front of you or maybe behind. If you have the elbows in front, you can sway gently side to side. And try to breathe into the back of the body, feeling the stretch. Feeling the vertebrae unlocking itself and creating space between each vertebra. Feeling the decompression in the spine. Allow the head to relax and to let go completely. And then if you like, you can release the hands here and stretch them behind your back, interlacing the fingers, reaching the arms away. If you find that you're not able to grab the hands or your fingers, you can always use a strap or a belt, even a shawl will do. You can move the head gently side to side, yes and no. And then releasing the hands, you can drop them back into the floor. Walk the feet, heel, toe, you're bringing it out. And then bending the knees, dropping down, the hips down. So if the hips doesn't come all the way, you can just stay where you are. Maybe rest the elbows against the knees, the thighs, and try to open the hips. So you're pressing the knees away as you sink the hips down. So breathe wherever you can into the position. Try to relax your shoulders even though your arms, your elbows are resting there. See if you can drop them down a little bit more. Now we'll bring the hands to the left side and extend the right leg. So this left leg, you try not to have the knee pressing in front of the toes, so you're trying to push your hips back slightly. Either one hand to the floor and one hand to the leg, so you can keep that alignment. And then slowly straighten both legs and drop to the right side. So left hand to the floor, right hand onto the thigh, breathing deeply. And then come up again. We'll go to the left side. So feeling that inner thigh stretch on the right side, maybe the groin, the hip flexor, you can feel into that stretch. Swap again to the right side. And then come up. We're going to try and do it without the use of the hands on the floor or on the body. So stretching the arms out, or maybe bring the hands onto your hips if you prefer, and then bending into that left leg. So as you bend, try not to have the knee going forward of the toes. So you're trying to push your hips back at the same time, if that works for you. And press down, come up, engaging your core, and then bending the right knee, pushing the hip back. Breathe deeply. Slowly come up. Hands onto the hips. Let's bend, hinge from the hips. Fold forward. Maybe bring the hands onto the legs either side, relaxing the head, the neck, shoulders and arms. Keep breathing deeply as much as you can. And then slowly walk the hands in, walk your feet in slightly. And you can, if you're on the shorter edge of the mat, you can maybe want to go to the longer edge and step the legs back into down dog. So maybe coming up onto the toes and pressing back down onto the heels. So the hands are shoulder width distance apart. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Maybe as you come up onto the toes, you come into plank and then press back into down dog. So keeping the core engaged, drawing the belly in. And again, breathing deeply as much as you can. So next time you press the heels down, let's step the right foot forward, lowering the knee down to the floor, finding your lunge, your low lunge, breathing here into it as much as possible. The hands flat on the floor, on the fingertips, or if you have blocks at home, you can use them to lift the upper body. So the chest is lifting up, one straight line from the tailbone to the back of the head, so the crown of the head, you're not arching the back. Breathe deeply. Find that stretch in your left psoas. Relax your shoulders. And then from here we'll straighten that right leg. So the foot can be flat or you can roll onto the heel depending on what stretch you want here. So if you come onto your heels, you're stretching the hamstring, the calf. If you have the foot flat, you're stretching the front, so the shins and the thigh. So you can walk the hands back, inhale to open the chest, exhale to fold and round onto the right leg. Relax your shoulders again, draw the belly in, check the distribution of weight, make sure it's equal on both sides. Then slowly walk the hands back into lunge. And we'll step that right knee back. We'll come into tabletop position. Few cat and cow, so arching the back. Opening up the chest, bending the elbows, look forward. Exhale to round and contract. Once more. Inhale, open up. You can go as deep into the stretch as you like by bending the elbows. And then straightening, rounding the back, dropping the head. From here into a neutral spine, you can walk the hands forward, curl onto the toes and take plank. So holding nice and straight line with the body, shoulders over the wrist, and then slowly dropping the knees, chest, chin or forehead to the floor. Elbows are tucking into the side body. Point your toes, slide forward. Drop the shoulders, so try not to crunch your shoulders up, dropping it down. Elbows still tucking into the side body, look up. And pressing into the palms, lifting up. Knees lap back into down dog. So drawing the belly in, breathing deeply. find your back body stretch. And then come up onto the toes, and we'll pivot into plank. And then go back into down dog. So we do this a few times. Feel the whole body working here. So the abs, your shoulders, your arms, your back, your legs, everything is getting a good workout here. So you control the movement, slow it down. Use your breath. Next time you press your heels down, we'll step that left foot forward, coming into our low lunge. Relaxing the shoulders here as much as you can. Sinking the hips down. Hips are square in front of you. Find your stretch in the right psoasana. The spine is straight. Lifting the chest, dropping the shoulders. Being mindful of all those sensations in the body. And then slowly pressing back, straightening the leg. Maybe walking the hands back. Inhale to open up, flat back. Exhale to fold, bending the elbows, dropping the head. Equalize the weight on both sides. Draw the belly in. And breathe. Slowly come back into our lunge position. And then we step the knee back into tabletop. So checking your alignment, hips and knees, shoulders and wrist. Inhale, drop the belly, bend the elbows, arching the back, looking forward. And exhale, round, contract. Again, inhale, open up. Exhale to round and contract. So from here we come back into a neutral spine, walk the hands forward, curl onto the toes, coming into our plank pose, squeezing the inner thighs, drawing the belly in. Breathe, shoulders over wrist, hands are firm into the floor. And then dropping the knees, chest, chin or forehead to the floor, elbows tucking into the sides. Point the toes, sliding the body forward. Again, dropping the shoulders, lifting the chest, look up. And pressing into the hands, push back, taking down dog. So give your body a nice stretch here. And then lower the knees down, press back, child's pose. You can bring the arms alongside the body, roll the head gently side to side. Remember to breathe deeply. Let's stretch the arms in front of us. Come back into our down dog. So now we'll bring our right leg up. Otherwise you can stay in normal down dog. But as you lift your leg up, try to keep the hips square. So that means your leg wouldn't go up too high because we have to keep it square towards the floor. Press your left heel into the ground. Pressing into the palms so that the body is in still that V position. Breathe deeply. Now bending the knee, keeping both knees together. We'll do some rotation with the knee here. So circles 3 times, one direction. And then 3 times opposite direction. And then step the foot forward, coming back into our low lunge. This time we're going to lift the arms up. So you try not to arch your back here, the right knee and ankle in line with each other. You're drawing the belly in, the body is square in front of you. Toes can curl or you can point them back. Find your breath. Breathe deeply. Then slowly we're going to stretch the arms out to the side. You can keep the knee down and bring that left hand to the back of your thigh. Stretch the right arm back against your ear, and now sink the hips down. So you're finding that bit of back bend here. Look up to the sky as you sink the hips down and the front of the body is facing the sky. You can drop the head back if you like. Breathe. Slowly come forward, arms back up, and stretch the arms against your ear. Everything in one straight line. Hands down. Curl onto the toes, into plank. Exhale any variation that you like, knees, chest, chin, or you can lower down. Inhale into cobra, shoulders down, elbows tucking into the side body. And then down dog. Breathe deeply. Slowly we bring that left leg up, but remember to square the hip so the leg is not going up too high. Draw the belly in, press the right heel down, and really press into the hands so the body is still in the V position, bending the knee and bringing both knees together. And now we prepare for our rotation with the knee. So 3 times when you're ready, one direction, and then 3 times opposite direction. And then slowly step the foot forward, back into our low lunge. Arms up, left knee and ankle in line with each other. Reaching the arms up as high as you can, so you're grounding the tailbone, lifting and lengthening through the crown of the head. Breathe deeply, draw the belly in. Bringing the arms out to the side, and then lowering the right hand down to the back of the thighs. Stretch the left arm against your ear. Find your back bend, sink the hips down. Breathe deeply. Slowly both arms back up. Come forward slightly, keeping the head in between the arms. Look down. And lower the hands down to the floor. Take plank. Any variation to come down. Pointing the toes, elbows tucking in, lifting the chest up. Breathe. And press back into down dog. Inhale, lifting right leg up to the sky as high as you can. Press the left heel down, bending the knee, opening up the hip so the right heel comes to the left glute. And then slowly squaring the hip, bring the right knee to the left elbow. Back up to the right elbow. Back up. And in between, knee to nose. And then step the foot forward. So we come into high lunge. If you prefer, you can always come into low lunge. So always remember to do what you can, what your body's limitations are. We're respecting them. And sinking down, curling onto the toes. Breathe deeply. We're going to come forward. So part of the rib cage, the right rib cage, it's resting onto the thigh. Breathe. And then we lower that right hand down to the floor on the inside of the leg and stretch left arm up. Here you can keep the toes as they are, or you can bring the left foot to the short edge of the mat. Look up towards your left fingers or down to your right toes. Breathe deeply. See if you can sink the hips down a little bit more. Option to stay here, or you can do the bind with your arms. So the right arm go under the right leg and then they meet behind. Opening up the chest. Breathe deeply. And then slowly lower both hands down. And we'll step into the right foot, bringing that left leg up into standing splits. So you're bringing that left leg as high as you can. Breathe deeply. From here, lower the foot down. We take chair pose. So you're resting the chest onto the thighs and really trying to sink the hips down, but doing your pelvic floor tuck. Hands to your heart. Breathe. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Drawing the thighs in. And slowly fold. Straightening the legs. Breathe deeply. Catch your breath. And then you can either step the legs back or hop back into plank. Exhaling down. Inhale, cobra, and exhale, down dog. So left leg rises up as high as you can. Pressing the right heel down, pressing into the palms fully. Bending the knee, opening up the hip. So that left knee is going up to the sky. The heel comes towards the right glute. And then squaring the hip, bring the left knee to the right elbow into three-legged plank and then back into three-legged dog. Left elbow in the middle, knee to nose. And then step the foot forward into high lunge. Arms up, hips are square, left knee and ankle in line with each other. Breathing deeply as much as you can. Press your right heel down towards the floor. And then we come forward. Keeping the head in between the arms, almost as if you're resting the chest onto that thigh. Lowering the hands down, so the left hand on the inside of the leg. You can turn the right foot to the short edge of the mat, maybe step it an inch or so away, so you can sink the hips down and bring that left arm up to the sky. Breathe deeply. option to stay here or come into the bind so that you're bending the left arm under the leg, right arm meets behind, and you're opening up the right shoulder. Release both hands back to the floor, taking plank, So from here we're going to come into standing split, so stepping that right leg up to the sky, breathing deeply as much as you can, so really trying to reach the leg up, up, up. Deep inhale, long and slow exhale. Then slowly lowering the right foot down, bending the knees, resting the chest onto the thighs. This time you can raise the arms up, sink the hips down, find your chair pose. Pelvic floor tuck, breathe, 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 and fold. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, long and slow breath out. So from here you can step back or hop the legs back into plank. Exhale down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Let's lower the knees down. Let's take a rest in child's pose. You can bring the arms alongside the body to rest the hands, your shoulders, your wrist, maybe rolling the head side to side. Engaging the breath. Breathing consciously with awareness. So deepening the inhalation, lengthening the exhalation, twice as long or as long as you can. Allow your heart rate to return to its natural rhythm. Let's stretch the arms in front of us, coming back into down dog. So from here, we're going to come onto our toes and bend our knees, and so that the shoulders are over the wrist in a bit of a plank position, but with the knees bent and hovering over the floor. So you're really engaging the core. Your back is completely straight. You're not trying to arch the lower back. And press the hands fully into the floor as much as possible. And then come back into down dog. And do that twice more. So take your time. If you need to walk your feet in slightly, then go ahead and do that. So you pivot first into plank and then lower the knees, hovering it over the floor, belly into the spine, breathe. See if you can hold maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and then press back into down dog. One more time. And from here, we're going to lower the knees down. Walk the hands in. Let's take tabletop again. So check your alignment. And from here, we're going to extend. I'm going to show you on my left side because my left side you can see better. So I'm extending the left leg. Then you're going to bend the knee as if you're kind of coming into a bit of a fire hydrant, you know, puppies do this. So you're opening up to the left side, keeping your core nice and tight, and then down twice more. So knees together, and then lift the knees, open it up to the left side, and down. One more time, up. Draw the belly in, so you're leaning slightly to the left side, and then release down. Turn the palms up. Just stretch the wrist out for a moment. If you want it deeper, just lean into the wrist, lean forward. If you want it not so deep, just press back. Then we can curl onto the toes, walk the hands and sit onto the heels. And we can stretch the wrist out this way, so pressing the palm away, holding the fingers and pushing the wrist away. Now we can do the other side. And then release, maybe some rotations here. And then opposite way, shake it out. Point your toes, lift off, and then bring the hands back. Curl onto the toes, press up into down dog. So we do the same thing on the right side or the opposite side if you already did the right side. So pivot into plank, bending the knees, keeping the back straight, drawing the belly in, breathing deeply. So it's as if you're drawing the navel, the belly button into the spine as you hover the knees over the floor. Then press back into down dog. So you should feel the whole body engaging. And then back into plank, and then lower the knees. You can look forward slightly in front of the hands. Breathe and hold. And then back into down dog. Once more. Go at your own rhythm, following your breath. And then lowering the knees, and we set up for tabletop. So on this side, let's extend the right leg, or if you've done the right side, then swap to the left. So bending the knee and open up to the right side. So the knee presses out to the right, you're pushing that heel away, the core is engaging, and then knees together, opening up again to the right side. Lower down, open up, last time. And gently down. So stretching the wrist one more time, maybe come down onto the forearms this time. And you can just drop the head in between the arms, keeping the palms faced up. Try to allow the head to be heavy. And then curling onto the toes, let's press back, sit down onto the heels. And then we'll do that stretch again with our wrist, pressing the palm away, pulling the fingers back. Trying to relax your shoulders at the same time. And swap to the other side. And release rotations with the wrists. and opposite way, and shake it out. So you can lift up and just release your toes as well. Walk the hands forward. Let's take our down dog. Right leg rises up when you're ready. And this time we're going to keep the leg straight but bring it to the right side. And then slowly come into three-legged plank and then plant your right foot on the outside of that right hand. So lizard pose, so the knee can come down or you can lift it off the floor. And you're trying to maybe press that left hand into the floor, bring your right hand onto the inner thigh and pressing the knee away, dropping that shoulder down away from your neck, maybe rolling onto the edge of the foot so you feel that hip flexor and the hip stretch opening up, so us getting a good stretch here as well. Breathe as deeply as you can. Option here to keep the right leg as it is, and you can maybe lift your left foot off the floor and see if you can come into a bit of a quad stretch here. So you're holding onto the toes and drawing that heel towards your hip and getting a twist as well, so looking back towards the left foot, breathing deeply. Then slowly and gently release that leg down. So from here you can either bring the right hand down to the floor so both hands are on the floor, or you can come into your forearms with the toes curled on the left leg so the knee is off the floor, or you can keep the knee on the floor, entirely up to you. Breathe deeply as much as you can. Then into forearm plank. Deep inhalation, long and slow exhalation. Lower the hips down. Keep your forearms into the floor. Point your toes. Lifting the chest up. Drop the shoulders. Press the hips down. Look up. And then from here, hands underneath the shoulders, curling onto the toes. Press back into down dog. Left leg rises up. And then bringing that left leg out to the side. Come into a bit of a three-legged plank first. So controlling the movement and then stepping that foot on the outside of the hands and lowering the knee down. So you can use the left hand to press on the inside of the leg and then rolling onto the edge of the left foot. So breathing here, trying to open up the left shoulder. Core is engaged, you're not collapsing your posture. And then if you like, as an option, you can bend that right leg and see if maybe you can hold onto that toes or the foot and bring the heel gently in. So it's quite a deep stretch in the quads, so if you don't want it too deep, just maybe keep the foot hovering as opposed to holding it. Then gently release, bring the hand back into the floor. So option to stay here, or you can lower down onto the forearms with the right knee on or off the floor. So there's a lot of different things going on. The whole body is activated and working. Then when you're ready, you can step that left leg back into plank. Core nice and tight, squeezing the inner thighs in towards each other. Shoulders over wrist. over elbows even. And then slowly pressing the hips down into the floor. Point your toes. Bring the forearms into the floor. Lift the chest. Drop the shoulders. Breathe. Deep inhale, long and slow exhale. And slowly bring the hands under the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Down, dog. Lowering the knees down. I'm just going to turn to the front so you guys can see. So if you have any knee issues or you need some extra support, you can always bring a blanket or a cushion under your knee. So we're going to start with the left foot extended straight out, and you want to keep the knee and the hip in line with each other as opposed to it pressing too far to one side. So your core is nice and engaged. Left hand to the side of the leg. Try to avoid around the knee and reach the right arm up. Stretch over towards the left side. So you're feeling into this right side stretch in the body. Breathe deeply, engaging the core. And then slowly come up. And we're going to lower the right hand down to the floor. Raise the left arm up. So check that the right shoulder and wrist are in line. And then option to, once you find your balance, to bring that left leg off the floor, pressing the heel away. So core strength to do this. Breathe deeply. Then lower the foot down. Come up. Let's link the fingers in towards each other and rest it behind the head. And we're going to do a little bit of obliques work. So we're trying to bring that elbow towards the left leg. Come back up. So 5 of these. Really squeeze towards the left side as you do this. And then come back in, release. So bring both knees together. I'm just going to turn to the side. Hands behind your back, linking the fingers. Or you can have an option as hands to rest on the lower back as if you're doing camel pose. This is just another variation. So whichever variation that you like. Pressing the hips forward, dropping the head back, opening up the front of the body. And gently come up. So we'll go to the right side. So supporting that left knee. If it's needed, stepping the right foot forward. Keeping the left knee and hip in line with each other. Right hand sliding down, left arm up. Reaching over towards the right side. Breathe deeply. Feel into the left side stretch now. Drop the right shoulder. So you can go as deep as you like here. And gently come up, lowering the hand down to the floor. Reaching the right arm up. So ideally you want the wrists, the shoulders, and the right arm to be in one straight line. When you're ready, once you find your balance, you can raise the right leg up, pressing the heel away. Breathe. Core is nice and engaged, nice and tight. And then lower the foot down, back to the floor. Engage your core, come up. Hands behind head. And we're working on the obliques, so coming over to the right side, keeping the elbows open, and then back up. So crunching over to the right and back up. 3 more. Last one. And then slowly bring the knees in towards each other, about hip width distance apart, and any variation that you like, either hands onto the lower back or fingers interlocked, reaching the arms down, open up the chest, look up, pressing the hips forward, gently come up. We'll take one last stretch, puppy pose, so keeping your hips and knees in line, walking the hands forward, dropping the chest down. Try to keep the hips and the knees in one straight line, drawing the belly in, trying not to arch the lower back, and allow the chest to melt into the ground. If you like, as an option here, you can bend the elbows, bring the hands in prayer position, and rest the thumbs to the back of the head. So you're also getting a stretch in the triceps here, a bit deeper in the chest. And slowly, if you have the hands behind your head, release the hands back to the floor. Walk the hands in and press back into child's pose, and then slowly roll up. So we'll have final relaxation. So you can get your socks and sleeves on, and maybe blankets, anything that's needed. Try not to skip relaxation. It's just as important, even more important than the physical practice you've just done. It's a bit like digesting food. So it's really important to give your body the time to absorb everything you've done. So lay down. We can hug our knees into the chest. And then you can extend the legs out or keep the knees bent, especially if you have any lower back issues. So the knees can drop in towards each other and toes, feet away, or you can take corpse pose with the legs the width of the mat apart, your toes out to the sides, arms alongside the body, palms are faced up, eyes closed. Check that your shoulder blades, lower back nicely relaxed onto the ground, chin slightly towards your chest. Slow, deep and steady breaths. Inhale, belly expanding like a big balloon. Exhale, slowly and gently release and let it go completely. Breathing in, deep breath in, belly expanding like a big balloon. Breathing out, everything collapsing, relaxing back into the ground. Follow your breath. Try to deepen the inhalation, lengthen the exhalation as much as you can. And as you continue to breathe, we'll bring our awareness and attention to the body, relaxing the toes, the feet, the heels and ankles, the shins and calves, the knees and the thighs, the hips and pelvis, The lower, mid and upper back, feeling it relax. The abdomen, the diaphragm, the chest. The hands and arms, fingers, palms, wrists, forearms, elbows, upper arms. Relaxing the shoulders, the collarbone, the neck and throat, the face and the head. Relaxing the whole body from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head. My whole body relaxing completely from the tips of my toes to the crown of my head. My breath is soft, smooth, rhythmic. Body is light, like a feather. Mind is clear and calm, very still. Relaxing completely, letting go completely. And gently and slowly begin to move the fingers and toes, bringing the awareness back to the body. Let's bring the legs together, stretching the arms above the head, giving the body a nice long stretch, pointing the toes, pressing the heels away, lower back pressing down into the floor, and then bending the knees, hugging the knees into the chest, rolling gently side to side. And then slowly allow the legs to drop to one side, pressing into the opposite arm, coming up into a seated position. You can cross your legs or stretch them out. Sitting up nice and tall, keeping the back straight, shoulders, arms, back relaxed, eyes closed. Let's take a deep breath in, stretching the arms above the head, bringing the palms together, and as you exhale, draw the palms into the heart space. And deep, big breath in again. As you exhale, taking a bow. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Well done. See you next week. Keep well and stay safe, everyone.